is Wednesday night here at Beyond the Airwaves, the Infinity Project. That's right, folks. It's Hump Day. That means from this point on, it's all downhill for the rest of the week.
As
Not
long as you're
only
not,
not
as long as you're not trying to go downhill on what do you call those boards? They're like bobsleds, only you can do them on the street luge. As long as it's not a street luge.
Yeah. You were
well,
saying something.
it's not like it's not like much else can go downhill in the next couple months that hasn't gone downhill yet.
Smart ass.
But yeah,
Better than being a dumbass or no ass at
Well,
all.
I don't have to
true.
worry about not having any ass. You should see the size of mine.
Where the broccoli
Oh
dip? I kick your
my.
ass. Alright.
Hey, it's nice that at least I can make fun of myself.
Yeah, that's true. If you can't make fun of yourself, then you
Oh
got a
dear.
problem.
If you can't make fun of yourself, make fun of someone else.
hmm Alright, so anyway, it is Wednesday. That means it's time for Warzone Wednesday, and boy, we got at least two stories that are going to require a supernova rant rocket. Trust me, we're not kidding. But we'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Anyway, I'm your host for tonight. I am Oddball Stream. I'm currently joined on the line by four of my crazy cohorts. First, we have our master and creator, Frodo. Hello, Frodo.
How is everyone today?
Muy bueno, gracias.
Muy bueno.
Oh
Muchas
I'm
my.
gracias.
I'm just checking the weather right now to make sure nothing shitty's going on.
Well, at least not close by anyway.
Oh, yep.
But Epsilon's becoming a problem towards Bermuda.
Yeah, Epsilon is looking
Two.
interesting, but let's
Two.
get into that
Bless you.
with the weather report.
Yeah, we'll get that in a minute.
Thank you.
All right. Anyway, let's continue the
Oh
intros.
dear.
We also have Spirit Spotter Tim. Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening, my dear.
We also have resident Joker Mike.
Oh
Hello,
my.
Mike.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Wednesday.
And we also have our lady who has to beware the Mistron invasion, Janet. Hello, Janet.
Hello, everybody.
Not
And
sure if she has to worry about the Mistrons anymore. I'm more worried about the
Oh my.
Cybermen.
the what?
The
Oh
Cybermen.
dear. Oh my.
Now, that'd be an interesting
No,
team up.
The Daleks could kick the Cybermen's ass.
They already have.
Yeah.
Dear.
In which episodes?
It was during
Oh.
tens time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I've got this idea. I'm a Dalek and I will kick your ass.
Okay, sorry, audience members. We are goofing off tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just having fun. This is kind of what we do when we're behind scenes. It's just goof.
We're just goofballs.
Yeah, we're
Oh
we're
my.
we're not just harmless. We're mostly harmless.
Yep.
Except for
I
me.
didn't do
Oh
I
it.
can
no,
be-
I
I
didn't
wasn't
include
there.
you in that.
Don't
Yeah.
blame me.
Ar-
It's just not fair. Hey.
I think I need the bigger box. Kidding.
I have got to find that commercial on
Oh
YouTube.
dear.
Yeah.
Taco Bell
Did
Chihuahua.
Oracle change her name on Switch?
Huh?
Yeah. She's Oracle BTA now, and you changed your name to Joker BTA, right?
Yep.
So yeah.
Well,
Yep.
I'm
It's a
always
little
go-
more professional.
Yep.
Well, I'm always gonna be Lord Chaotic 0013 because guess what? That's just me.
That's fine.
That's fair.
Está
I
no
mean,
problema.
my
Oh
the
my.
name was before I changed it was just Mike Boyens BTA. So
I do want to say, Sajo, thank you for the hello and thank you for welcoming us to the show.
Mhm.
Thank you for being here as well.
Uh huh. Let's see. We also have talking. Was that talking Robble or Robbie? In the chat it says talking. Looks like it's
Talking
talking
Robbie.
Robble. Robbie. Okay.
Okay,
I-
Twitch.tv, right?
Yep. All right. Well, anyway,
I'm
this.
check.
Oh, go
But
ahead.
yeah,
Well, anyway, this is
but yeah,
it's Warzone Wednesday, so we got at least two stories that require a supernova rant rocket. But Frodo, I think I want to let you go first with yours because this is a little bit more important. So let me fire off the
Hit
rant
it.
rocket. All right, here we.
Good.
All right, Frodo, the floor belongs to you.
I've got two words to start this out with. Two very, very, very simple words.
Two words, one finger.
Oh
Well,
my.
the one thing, the one finger will come later.
Okay.
The two
Oh
words
dear.
are Greg Abbott.
Okay.
Now, to explain, Greg Abbott is the governor of Texas, is a resident of a wheelchair, and decided to this weekend, I think maybe later last week, that social workers in his state no longer have any reason at all to help people who are disabled or people on the LGBTQIA spectrum. So, let me break this down. If you have a mental disability and you live in Texas, you're no longer entitled to any services from a social worker. If you're a parent and you need a social worker to help you out with your children, and your children happen to have a mental health disability or a physical disability, well, sucks to be you.
Mm-hmm.
Seems to me a
Now,
recall election is in order to pull that SOB out of office.
Yeah.
I'd agree. I don't know the laws regarding recall in Texas. I'd have to look
I
it
don't
up
either,
really
but
quick.
Mm-hmm.
a governor that stupid has got to lose his job.
Agreed. And here, this is
I'm
what
It
really makes me
actually
failed the
mad.
people of
He's
Texas.
he's in a wheelchair himself. Now, I know he's trying his best to do things independently. That's perfectly fine. But it doesn't help if there are people in wheelchairs who cannot do things independently.
so okay.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Be careful.
So basically, it sounds like Texas only has recalls for local and counties, not for state,
Mm-hmm.
which I see a problem with. And this is why. Mr. Abbott, if you ever listen to this show, which I highly doubt, but if you do, go to hell, fucker. Because you just broke every tenet of Title IX and of the ADA. You saying that people with disabilities, including myself, including Miss Janet, including Mr. Mike, and I'm assuming everyone else here probably in some way, if you're saying that none of us have the right to any fucking services because you're a fucking idiot stuck in the fucking 17th fucking century, go fuck yourself, you son of a bitch. Do you not think that people who are disabled crave independence? Do you not
He
think?
needs to pay dearly.
You know what I think,
What?
Tim? And this is just my honest opinion.
Mm.
And I mean, I'm going to be a little brutal here, so I apologize to our listeners who may be weak stomached. But this is my opinion. I'm sticking with it. Okay? If you are someone in a governmental position and you don't believe that people with disabilities have the rights to want to work, want to do more with their lives, want to be something other than a fucking bump on a log, do me a fucking favor. Chop off your fucking arms and legs and tell me how well you can fucking work, you stupid son of a bitch. Because let's just be honest, a lot of people have disorders that you can't see.
Yep.
Depression,
Mhm.
as debilitating as it comes, autism makes you think differently. Bipolar disorder. I'd love to see a bipolar person in a depressive state work at a Burger King while everyone there is telling them that they're fucking stupid for getting an order wrong when it's not them that's making the fucking order. Um
That's why if I know that, like at a checkout line in a grocery store, if I realize a person's new or um, has a disability, I'm patient with them because I know where they're coming from, plain and simple. But
Mhm.
not everybody's like that.
Janet, I'm going to take it another step. No one in retail should ever be treated like garbage. No one
Mm.
working any fucking service job should be treated
Well,
like
okay,
fucking
hey,
garbage.
it's
Mhm.
my eardrums. I realize that.
But I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling in general. I'm just raising my voice in general because this is the type of thing that really fucking pisses me off is when people don't see the idea of equality, especially when it's a fucking elected official. Okay? Why do you think I'm totally against Trump? Well, there you go. Look at what he did to fucking that reporter in the New York Times. And no, this is not a political twist. This is just a simple fact. Okay? I'm still on the subject of disabilities. Okay? Take a look at anyone who's ever said anything bad about people with disabilities. I think Steve King said something bad about people with disabilities once. Look what he's getting. He's getting kicked the fuck out. As far as I'm concerned, any fucking government official, I don't care what your fucking role is, whether you're a fucking little peon, little secretary at a fucking at the FBI or all the way on up to the president of the United States of America. Any of you, anyone
Mm.
that disrespects a person with disabilities should be eliminated from their job instantly. It should not even be a question. It should just be done. And that's one thing that I think people need to realize is that a lot of these orders to harm people with disabilities and that come from higher up in the food chain. It really does. Look at this. Look at Texas. Look at this. Answer me this question honestly, you guys. Does this upset you? Does this enrage you?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yes,
Sorry
it
if I'm
pisses me
tired.
off.
Yeah, sorry if I'm seeming sleepy again.
Uh
It's been a
oh.
long afternoon for me. That's all. I mean, I did well today. Got my first sale in my new job. So I can't go
Yep,
into
yep.
detail about it because of confidentiality. But at least I
But
got
you
it.
got your first. Now, Shirley,
Mhm.
one gets two, gets four, gets eight. You'll work up. You.
Mike, not Mike. Tim,
Frodo.
what do you think of this whole debacle?
I think sometimes people like Greg Abbott need to realize that they represent everybody. In Mr. Abbott's case, that would be the entire population of the state of Texas, not just the ones he wants to represent or the ones he wants to look after. Everyone. That's one of, but not the only, biggest criticism I have of people like him and even Donald Trump. I don't care which party you represent or whether you have a D, R, or an I after your name. When you're a president, governor, mayor, whatever, you represent everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And if you cannot represent everybody
You don't need to be running.
fairly, you don't need to be running.
Mm-hmm.
That's a fact.
It's
I'm
like
gonna.
it's like our idiot Tommy Tuberville here in Alabama. He's only been in Alabama for 18 months. He has quit 4 times. He's quit at 4 different schools. He's ran apparently 2 to 3 scams as well. And people want him to be in? It's like, fuck you, Tuberville.
But my biggest issue is this. Okay, what he's doing, it's not just unethical. It's not just questionable at best. It's not just unethical and immoral. It's also fucking illegal.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? The Americans with Disabilities Act says that no one shall use a person's disability as a means to denigrate, well, not so much denigrate, but cut their access to whatever the person needs. Okay? So basically, what Greg Abbott just did, and I'm sorry this is going to sound disgusting, but it's the facts, is he took the paperwork for that fucking law, the
Right.
Americans with Disabilities Act, and he used it as shitter script. That's exactly what he did.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
So it's like he's reversing course for everything that's been done.
Mhm. And that's my biggest problem, is that he is literally breaking the law.
Mm-hmm. And
He's
me.
also
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
he's also breaking Title IX, which determines what classes of people are protected classes. And guess what's up on that list? Disability, sexual orientation.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and here's the thing. Let's see. Saju said, "Don't forget to keep an eye out for Trump supporters that are intimidating voters everywhere, even in the battleground states." Well, I'll tell you this. I found out something. I'm going to be planning on working the poll on November 3rd at the one near my house on Eastmont Baptist Church. But one of the basic rules is no
I'm
one,
back.
no poll. Welcome back. Rule of thumb is no poll worker or voter is allowed to wear anything that endorses a candidate because when you go inside, that is considered as electioneering. And here in Alabama, you cannot do it within 30 feet of the entrance door.
Yeah, you can't wear a MAGA hat. You can't wear a Biden T-shirt
Uh huh.
or anything like that.
Right. Excuse me.
That's a smart move right there.
Well, and it's federal law.
Mm
And that's the thing people don't understand. Federal law trumps all law in this country.
hmm. Mm hmm.
And here's a fact. And this is something that I'm actually quite scared of right now. There's been a lot of discussion about poll protectors or whatever you want to call them.
Uh huh.
People who go in and are hired by one of the campaigns, I'm not going to specify which because I'm not going to get political here,
Mm hmm.
to try and intimidate and encourage in an aggressive manner a person to vote in a specific way.
Mm hmm.
That is illegal.
Yeah, because it's basically electioneering, which you're not supposed to do within a certain distance. Here in Alabama, it's 30 feet. In Florida, it's 100 feet.
Mm, I think I can't remember what the electioneering rules are in Iowa.
I can
I
take a look. Let me find out.
I think they're 50 feet though.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that.
If I can type correctly, electioneering at polling place, because there was like a PDF file that had all the places. Let's see. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm looking for. I just found it last night. Ah,
The
there it is.
fact
The electioneering distances chart. Okay, let me see. I should find Iowa. There it is. It's 300 feet.
in Iowa,
Yeah,
that's
That's
pretty good.
huge.
yeah,
That's
That's
nice.
that's a football field.
yeah. It is. Yeah, I think Iowa's the largest one. Alabama's got the second smallest at 30 feet because who has the 25 feet? Georgia. Let's see, and let's see, 100 feet in Maryland, but in Montgomery County, Maryland, 25 to 100 feet, local decision. Let's see, Missouri's just 25 feet, but most states have at least 100 feet.
What about New York? Sajo says.
New York, New York, New York. It's 100 feet from building entrances. In fact, hang on. I'll turn on the screen. I'll turn on the screen share here on Twitch. I don't know why in the heck I'm talking like a New Yorker.
No, you're talking like you're from Brooklyn.
My.
Yeah, I'm talking like I'm from
Oh
Brooklyn.
dear.
We're the Beastie Boys, man. No, I'm kidding.
Oh, I don't think any of you guys got a chance to watch Prices Right this morning, but Kiss was the presenter.
Yeah, Kiss was like the guest band because they were doing rock and roll. It was a rock and roll themed show. They had Kiss there, and boy, this was so classic. On the game Cliffhangers, there's that little yodeling guy. You always see him in his regular suit, right? Not this time. He was carrying a rock and roll guitar, and he looked like Gene Simmons.
Uh
Oh
huh.
my god.
That was
Oh
that
my.
was so cool. I'll bet you it's got to be on YouTube. I can go look for it a little later. But I saw this like, oh my god, they have really pulled out all the stops for this.
Well,
But
I'm gonna say this right now as a general rule of thumb. For those that don't realize how important disability support is in this country, there's a lot of people that you don't know that have mental illnesses. And the people that have mental illnesses
5 you.
don't don't want to be treated like we're less than a person.
mhm,
I could say I'm going to say this from firsthand experience, personal statement here. If you try and treat me like I'm less than a person, I'm going to get upset. While yes, at times my mental disability makes it difficult, if not borderline impossible, to get up the will to do certain things,
mhm,
it doesn't mean I'm stupid.
yeah,
It just means that I'm mentally hitting a roadblock that's
mhm,
preventing me from advancing. Is that negative? Possibly. Is that me making excuses? No, not intentionally.
mhm,
You know,
mhm.
and this is just me saying it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I do want to get to that story about that one police officer in Florida who is facing some serious heat.
Okay.
Okay, now let me go find it. Florida cop Trump mask.
the guy on Price is Right that wears the skinny jeans all the time?
Oh, I forgot his name. Damn it, it's James something.
He's good looking in those skinny jeans.
Oh my.
Okay. All right. Now I don't know if you guys will be able to see this, but I'm gonna put this link in every room. So bear with me on this one. Growl.
I see it because I'm actually in the Twitch stream.
Okay. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna plug away here. Number one. Number two. And number three. Discord.
Oh,
Oh, did you mention me? Knock it off, Discord.
hi, Discord.
Did did you get the Greg Abbott story into the Discord?
Oh no, not yet. I gotta do that. All right.
Okay, do you know who Lawrence Roy is?
No.
I hope he's a member of our anti-Trump group.
Hmm. Just have to watch out for trolls. But anyway, this is what happened. This is out of the Washington Post because now this has really gotten going. A Miami cop wore a Trump mask to vote, inflaming Democrats. This is city-funded voter intimidation, which actually he's correct. Steve Simeonitis, the chair of the Miami-Dade Democratic Party, was at a polling site inside the county's government center on Tuesday when a police officer in full uniform walked in. When Simeonitis got a look at the officer's face mask, he told WFOR he was shocked. The red, white, and blue face covering was emblazoned with a Trump 2020 campaign slogan. This is city funded voter intimidation. Simeonis tweeted alongside a photo of Miami police officer Daniel Ubeda. Not only is this an egregious form of voter intimidation, but it's also a crime, which is actually correct.
Well,
Now,
Egregious.
yeah, egregious. I have never gotten that word right. I swear. That word has always been told
Oh my.
egregious. Egregious. See, like I said, that word has always given me a headache. But you see by that picture there, there he is, full on with the Trump mask. Now you see, here's the problem. He is a police officer. Police officers are not supposed to be wearing that in the first place.
That's correct because that shows supposed supposed favoritism of one side over the other by the city government.
Correct.
okay, Lawrence Roy, um, he is a diehard Trump supporter.
Mhm.
He posted that, well, to each their own.
Mhm.
He may be a troll for all I know, but to each their own. He says, he posted this, I support Trump and I will not apologize for it. Well, to each their own.
Well, anyway, after intense blowback from Democrats, city officials also condemned Ubeda and police officials promised quick disciplinary action. We are aware of the photograph being circulated of a Miami police officer wearing a political mask in uniform, the Miami Police Department said in a statement yesterday. This behavior is unacceptable, a violation of departmental policy, and is being addressed immediately. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez who's also happen to be a Republican, also condemned the officer's actions, saying Obeda is under investigation and will be disciplined for violating department policy. According to the Miami Police Department's policies, officers should avoid all religious and political discussions or arguments and shall not interfere with or make use of the influence of their office for political reasons, nor shall they take part in any political activity while on duty. Florida doesn't allow voters to actively campaign in polling places, but they can wear buttons, t-shirts, and other apparel that promotes a candidate or issue because passive electioneering is not illegal. At least 20 states have stricter guidelines which bars voters from wearing campaign-related clothing to the polls. Although in this case the Miami Police Department's policy clearly bars officers from displaying political messages while on duty, the incident also reflects concerns that have risen in recent days as poll workers have clashed with voters over political t shirts and masks. Hmm. While voter solicitation or electioneering is banned near or and inside polling locations, every state has different rules governing what voters can wear to the polls. Campaign-related garb is generally not allowed, and I'm going to tell you right now, somebody, I think she's in the state of Indiana, said You cannot even wear red or blue.
That's bullshit.
No, that's actually logical
Yeah, because think
Be-
about
Okay.
it. If I let's
Gotcha,
say
because
gotcha. Okay, okay.
yeah, because let's say I put on my red Optimus Prime T-shirt, that would become a problem because guess what? It's still red.
exactly. It's the same. It would be the same as if I walked into the church that houses my polling place with streamers coming off my back with Biden, 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 and fireworks going off all over the place of me with that are colored blue. It's the same type of thing. It may not be as overt as what I'm giving as an example, but it's
Mm,
still influence.
yeah, it is. All right, but anyway, in many jurisdictions, that means poll workers and voters alike must refrain from displaying campaign materials promoting one candidate over another. A few states allow voters to sport small buttons, stickers, or badges supporting their candidate of choice, and many places allow political messages that are not connected to a particular candidate or ballot measure. Already this year, several voters have been challenged over shirts decorated with racial justice slogans that were oft repeated refrains at widespread protests this summer. Voters in Tennessee and Florida have been cited for voting while wearing shirts declaring "I can't breathe" and "Black Lives Matter." Election officials in both states have clarified that wearing those slogans to vote is allowed, and a 2018 Supreme Court decision that overturned Minnesota's strict anti electioneering rules said that the state's rule banning all political clothing was too broad.
Well, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I got my point out, and I'm going to let my wife play a little bit of World of Warcraft while she's
Okay,
got time. But I'll
that's
talk
fine.
to y'all later.
Okay.
Yep, later.
Jenna.
Alright. So anyway, back to the story. Let's see. This year, mass. Where was I? I was up here. While general political slogans and imagery are sometimes allowed, attire explicitly promoting a candidate
Oh
is banned
my.
in many states. But in every election, some voters show up in clothes that violates their state's rules. In past elections, voters have been allowed to cast ballots topless after poll workers told them that they could not wear shirts attacking or supporting President Trump. Some people have even been arrested for refusing to remove their campaign related gear. This year, masks have added another layer of complication to enforcing voting rules. Most polling centers require masks for in person voting, but voters who have worn political masks or who have refused to wear masks are already putting those mask mandates to the test. So far, election officials have largely decided that casting ballots is more important than enforcing universal compliance with mask policies. Election officials in California have formally said that polling centers in the state will accommodate maskless voters. The right to vote is of utmost importance, state officials said in guidelines for poll workers. Even voters neglectful of important health and safety precautions must be allowed to vote if they enter a voting location. New York State similarly advised polling locations to have an isolated, separate area to assist voters without masks. I know here in Alabama we do have that already. Four voters in Fort Lauderdale refused to don masks to vote early on Monday, even though other people in line at the polling site urged them to cover their faces. Local officials had authorized the police to enforce the mask mandate at voting sites, but the anti-mask voters claimed to have asthma, the South Florida Sun Sentinel reported, and stood their ground even after poll workers told them masks were required to enter the voting booth. In the end, neither the poll workers nor the police stopped the mask-free quartet from voting. Although it's unclear how Obeda will be disciplined for wearing the Trump campaign mask while on duty, the mayor and the police chief promised Tuesday he will face consequences for violating department policy. Simeonitis, who saw Obeda at the polling site and accused him of voter intimidation, urged city officials to act swiftly and suspend the officer immediately. A uniformed officer with a badge and a gun wearing a Trump mask inside of a polling place is absolutely unacceptable and shouldn't be tolerated, he told WFOR.
Well, guess what? Bless you. Excuse me. But
Ugh, but it's ridiculous.
yeah,
It's gotten so out of hand now.
you know, when I posted that, I was expecting a little bit of blowback. So
Yeah.
you know what?
What?
You know what I told the guy? We agree to disagree.
Mm-hmm.
The dude that was trolling me was a Trump supporter.
Mm-hmm.
I support Trump, and I'm not afraid to, and I'm not gonna stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, but seriously, I feel like, I'm going to the poll for the first time ever, but I get this rule. I got it.
Okay, Shirley, could I ask you a question?
Uh-huh.
Can I set this tablet up for portable storage for transferring files and media between devices?
That's a good question.
I'll set it up.
Yeah.
Format storage device. Okay. But
Okay, let me see. Greg Abbott. Let's see the LGBTQ. LGBT. LGBTQIA. Oop,
Oh
plus.
my.
That is a mouthful.
Oh yes.
Yeah, there it is. It may not be the exact same link, but at least it's a link. Okay.
okay. Settings.
Yeah, bear with me, Growl.
Growl.
Okay, we're not coming up. Bear with me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Growl.
Ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-dum,
Here.
ba-dum, ba-dum. All right. A Republican governor who once signed a Save Chick-fil-A bill just made it legal to discriminate against LGBT plus people. That should be LGBTQIA, which is a mouthful. So yeah, and we did talk about that already. But it's like it's so ridiculous. It's ridiculous. As well as people with disabilities. He's one to talk. He's in a damn wheelchair. All right. Oh yes. Now to the other story that's kind of making people upset today. It's not political related, but it's TV related. You've probably heard this by now. The the Charlie Brown holiday specials, all three of them, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and Halloween.
Halloween.
Yes, thank you. My brain, my brain is it ain't working right now.
Thanksgiving, Halloween,
Oh
Thanksgiving,
dear.
and Christmas.
Yep, yep. It's the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving, and the Charlie Brown Christmas are going to be on Apple TV this year, not on regular TV. It is the first time in 54 years.
Oh, damn. You know what's really pissing me off?
What?
I happen to like poor Charlie Brown.
I know. But you see, the problem is, people are like, how could this happen? We gotta have it back. It's like, well, there's a problem there. Apple TV bought the rights. And JJ is now in the chat room as well.
I don't have to
Hello,
worry about it because I
JJ.
have it. I don't have to worry. I don't have to worry about it because I have digital copies of it. I can watch it on iTunes, Vudu, Amazon Prime,
Mhm.
whatever, because my rights are shared across platforms through a service called Movies Anywhere.
Mhm.
I
But that
have physical
does not
copies
mean.
of it.
Yeah, a
Okay.
lot of people have physical copies of it, but it's even then. It, it's
It's
dumb that
not
these
the
things
same. It's not the
happen.
same.
Exactly.
You know,
You're basically cutting off an audience for the entire thing
Yep.
by buying up the rights to it.
Yeah.
and that's why I say fucking Apple products are so damned overrated.
Well,
Yeah.
I happen to prefer Apple myself, but that's primarily because I have an iPod Night and an iPhone, and it works on my PC. I have a lot of Apple devices, thus, what works best for me is what I go with.
Mhm.
That does, however, that does not mean that I support Apple or really any other provider buying
Exactly.
up exclusive rights for this kind of thing
Mhm.
because you don't want to, how do I want to say this? You don't want to prevent a sizable chunk of the audience from being able to see it. Now, my
Mm-hmm.
understanding is that for like the day before and a day after the holiday, plus the holiday itself, you
Mm-hmm.
can watch it for free, but you're still limiting people.
Yeah, because not
Because,
everybody can get Apple TV.
Not
and not,
everybody can afford the damned
Mm-hmm.
not everybody can afford the however
Ow, ow,
much they're
ow.
gonna charge the people to see it.
Mm-hmm.
You
Ouch.
know,
not everybody's gonna be able to afford a digital copy of it or even a
did you,
DVD of it.
or how about the people who can't
Who
even
don't
afford
even,
to
yeah,
have Apple TV and want to watch it on like iTunes?
Mm-hmm.
Please.
Yeah.
and there are a lot of people out there,
I'll be back in a
knock
minute.
on wood, that don't even have a DVD player to their name.
They don't have, a lot of people are not able to afford DVD players, TVs, gaming systems, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be back in a minute.
Okay. What was I doing? Oh yeah, Discord. Didi, get the Didi, get the my story repository. All right, now they got that up there. Let's go over here. Let's go to the videotape. No, I'm kidding. All right, it's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown won't air on TV for the first time in 54 years. An annual tradition is about to change courses this year. It's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown will not air on broadcast television for the first time in decades, instead moving to a streaming platform. As various internet streaming services become more of the norm these days, Apple TV Plus has taken it upon itself to be the new go-to place for the annual favorite. As part of an expanded partnership with Wild Brain,
Oh,
Peanuts Worldwide, and Lee Mendelson Film Productions,
oh,
Tim, are you okay?
yeah, I got a little bit of pain in my back.
Ooh, all right, be careful. All right.
Oh,
Anyway,
I am. It's like a cramp.
oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah.
Anyway, the spooky Charlie Brown segment was moved to Apple TV Plus along with a Charlie Brown Thanksgiving and a Charlie Brown Christmas. Each will be offered for free on certain dates through the fall and winter seasons. As for Great Pumpkin, it will stream for free from October 30th through November 1st, even for non-subscribers. The Thanksgiving special will air from November 25th to 27th, and the Christmas segment December 11th through the 13th. The famous shows made their debuts back in the 1960s on CBS and were later moved to ABC. It's the Great Pumpkin. Charlie Brown's release was a historic moment for Peanuts fans, as it was the first time Lucy's signature football prank on Charlie Brown, pulling the football away at the last
Oh,
second to send him flying up into the air, was animated. It's also explained in the book "It's the Great Pumpkin." Charlie Brown, the making of a television classic. American cartoonist Charles Schultz revealed that the titular Great Pumpkin was satirizing Santa Claus.
Ouch.
Yep. First of all, we forget that there are hundreds of thousands of poor kids in this world who are lucky if they could get even one or two presents at Christmas time. And here they've heard so much about Santa Claus and all the gifts he delivers. It must be very hard on a lot of families, a lot of kids, Schultz said, as per CBR. And secondly, when a kid finally finds out that there is no Santa Claus, he must wonder how many other things he has been told that are not true.
I know I was still in school. I was
Hmm.
in fourth or fifth grade.
Hmm.
I was still young enough to believe in Santa.
Yeah,
I
let's see.
have some I had some bitch witch in school tell me Santa's not real.
Okay. Well, anyway, due to the coronavirus still in play, Halloween trick or treating will also be different for families everywhere this year. Several events have been canceled, and due to the recent rise in cases, many families will skip the tradition of knocking door to door. Watching Great Pumpkin could definitely be a way to still enjoy the spooky holiday in 2020, though fans will have to watch via Apple TV Plus instead of on traditional broadcast television. That's
I
the end.
still say it's bullshit.
I agree
I
with it.
call
I
It
it
do.
is.
fucking
I
bullshit.
agree. I agree with you. You're right because
I have misplaced my little
ow, ow, oh, excuse
password
me.
book. I've got to figure out how to get into my router to get my freaking router password.
Ouch. Bear with me.
Growl.
Something got my eye.
What
Ow.
upsets me more than anything is that this is what the competition for TV has become anymore. And this is just equally true for video games as well.
Mm-hmm.
And as Mike will understand what I mean when I say this, the only way these companies feel that they can compete with each other is by securing exclusives.
Yep.
But the problem is, the way I see it, if you're going out and you're securing exclusives for your platforms, you're also eliminating competition. And I think that's a very bad thing. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know
Well,
whether you agree with that or not, Mike, but you know,
not
as an
only is it
example,
very bad, but it's just you're ruining ways for people to watch nearly anything.
Mm-hmm.
Slowly but surely, TV, like analog slash digital TV, is gonna be a thing of the past.
It's gonna be all streaming basically.
Yes.
Cause you're right.
Okay.
It's just
I mean,
ridiculous.
to put it in perspective, and I know Mike will understand this as well. Let's look back at the recent acquisition of Bethesda Softworks by Microsoft. Now,
Oh
granted,
yeah.
I love Bethesda. You know, I love playing Doom. I love playing Elder Scrolls. I love playing Fallout, etc., and a couple other lesser known franchises that Bethesda owns the rights to. But here's the thing: because Microsoft has paid for this, Bethesda generally will only make games for Microsoft going forward.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a Nintendo Switch or a PS4 or a PS5 when they come out, because I don't think they're out yet, good luck trying to find any Bethesda title on there.
Mm-hmm.
That's not to say they will never appear there, because, and Mike, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I believe I read Microsoft said where agreements are already in place to release Bethesda games on third party platforms, meaning Sony and Nintendo, they will
Yeah.
honor the existing agreements accordingly. After all, they're
That
contracted to it, they're going to honor it.
Mm-hmm.
that sounds about
But,
right.
but, beyond that is anyone's guess. And Microsoft would have the right to say no. From a video game perspective, this goes all the way back. The earliest incantation of this that I can remember is John Madden Football, when EA secured the rights for the name Madden NFL, and nobody else could do it. This would have been in the mid 2000s, if I remember right, 2004, 2005, somewhere in that neck of the woods.
Sounds about right.
And I think 2K Games then retaliated by doing the same thing with MLB. And I'm like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
And I think those moves are really what started the whole thing off. And I think that's bad for the entire industry.
Mm-hmm.
Competition is a good thing. But when you deal with exclusivity, when you deal with, like in this case, buying up the rights to the Charlie Brown specials and then saying, well, now that we own the rights to it, we're not going to put it on national television. It's stupid, it's inconsiderate, and it's selfish. I get it. I really do. As somebody that
Mm-hmm.
actually enjoys Apple products, I completely understand where they're coming from. They want to draw people in to buy their merchandise, to use their services, etc., etc., etc. I get it. But this is not, in my honest opinion, the correct way to draw in an audience. Why should I run to Apple just so I can watch these Charlie Brown specials? That would be the only reason I would even be doing this. And I would ask myself, why?
I don't even have fucking Norton security. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Oh shit.
dear.
All right, I'm
Oh
gonna have to get
my.
out of here.
Okay.
Oh dear.
I don't even have Norton antivirus, and now it's infected me like crazy. So I will have to part company for now.
Okay.
All right.
Jenna.
Jenna.
All right. I can't remember. Frodo,
He's already
stick.
left.
He's not
Okay,
here.
I just need him to help me. I gotta get into my router to get my password.
Okay, that's all
Oh
right.
dear.
I've got to find my
Oh,
little notebook with my Is this my Kindle? No. Yeah,
oh
this was my
my.
Kindle. Damn.
So anyway,
Uh,
that's the main reason why these companies do this. They want to draw people in. But why would I want to subscribe to a service, be it Apple TV, Netflix, Hulu, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
just to watch the Charlie Brown specials? Why would I want to buy an Xbox just to play Elder Scrolls?
Mm-hmm.
Am I supposed to be happy and grateful that this particular service bought up the rights or bought the parent company of a game I want to play or
Mm-hmm.
a movie or TV special I want to watch? Because if you think that's I'm going to be excited or happy about that, you're gravely mistaken. And we're not talking about some obscure movie or television show. We're talking about a classic. 54 years. And now it's restricted because of money, because of corporate greed. I'm not going to kick Apple to the curb because, again, I have multiple devices that are Apple or that I can run the Apple software on. But don't let that mean
Mm-hmm.
that I agree with what they've done.
Uh,
And mark my words, if the last 16 years, give or take a year either way, are any indication, it's only going to get worse from here. I don't like it. I
huh.
could understand it if this was something that Apple produced, or in the case of video games, if this was something that Microsoft made in house.
Mm-hmm.
But
Okay.
remember that until Microsoft bought them, Bethesda was a third party developer and publisher. Bethesda, up until recently, was not Microsoft. If it was something Microsoft themselves made, then I could see a case for it. But this isn't first party. This is third party. And we're not talking, you know, what do they call it? Temporary exclusivity,
Yeah.
where, like, for example, and this is entirely off the top of my head,
Mm-hmm.
Grand Theft Auto starts on consoles for a year. It's console exclusive for a year.
Yeah.
And then after a year, then they can make and publish a PC version,
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
or be limited to Xbox for 1 year, but then after 1 year they can make it for Sony and Nintendo.
Yeah.
Something temporary.
Mm-hmm. Which is fine.
But
Like my temporary insurance license right now. I have to take an exam to become fully certified, but at least I got a temporary one. So,
but
but
what Apple has done here
mm-hmm.
is not temporary.
Right.
It's
It's permanent,
permanent.
which is bad.
It, very bad. And the same thing with Microsoft and Bethesda. I love a lot of the titles under the Bethesda umbrella, but I'm not going to go jiggle all the way to the bank to buy an Xbox to enjoy them.
Right.
No,
Yeah,
I'll
I
keep
may.
playing them on PC.
It's like I may be holding off on getting the PS5 because it's like, all right now it's gonna be way too expensive. And to be honest, I think the only game I was really wanting to play was Spider-Man. It's like, why do I want to waste the time getting a nearly $500, in this case $400, because I would literally love to get the digital one where you don't have that little drive. I mean, the games will still be the same price. I'm not worried about that. But why do I want to spend nearly $400 on on a system where I'm only interested in one game? That makes no sense.
Exactly. And to put it into another thing perspective for people is a lot of the games that I would play on Xbox, and these would be Xbox 360 titles, not Xbox One or Xbox X, Series X, or whatever the new one's called. I can
Hmm.
play the games I want to play on Steam.
Yeah, which is fine.
Like, for example, Alan Wake, the first one.
Hmm.
It was made on console by Microsoft and developed by Remedy. That made it an Xbox exclusive.
Hmm.
And at first, Microsoft said no to a PC port. Well, after a while, and what made this possible, I don't know. Not that I care at this point, but Remedy, the company that developed the game that Microsoft published,
Hmm.
said, you know what? It's been so long since the Xbox version came out. Why don't we just make it ourselves? We own the rights to the IP. Why don't we just make it ourselves? So that's what they did. Remedy made a PC version of Alan Wake and published it on Steam. I
Hmm.
bought it very shortly thereafter, full
Yeah.
price.
Mm.
I had already played it on Xbox and beaten it, and I had sold off my Xbox at the time because I wasn't playing it and I needed money. And I'm like, I really want to play Alan Wake again, but I'm not going to buy a whole new Xbox just to be able to do that again. No need. It's on Steam now.
Mm.
Looks just as good, if not better, and it has all the bonus features. Nice. Thank you for that gift, Remedy. Cha-ching is now on my account.
Gotcha.
And as of this year, the only real remaining reason to even want an Xbox is
Hmm.
finally on Steam, and I don't ever have to go back if I don't want to.
That's good.
Halo: The Master Chief Collection is now on Steam. Came out earlier this year.
Hmm.
Contains Halo, Halo 2 Anniversary, actually it's Halo Anniversary, then
Hmm.
Halo 2 Anniversary, Halo 3, Halo 3 ODST, and Halo 4, all
Hmm.
in one collection, published by Microsoft themselves on Steam. And it utilizes, I believe it utilizes Steamworks for the multiplayer, and
Hmm.
includes the Xbox Live achievement system. So
That's
it's
good.
tied to your Xbox account.
That's good. All right.
Who
Well.
needs an Xbox to play Halo?
Mm.
Left 4 Dead, Left 4 Dead 2, boom, they're on PC
Hmm.
first.
Yep. Yeah. I know we're gonna run a little bit into overtime, but that's fine because there is one more story I'd like to say. If you've ever heard of Quibi, it's gonna be a case of one and done. It's shutting down after only 6 months.
Oh dear.
Yeah. That's
Oh
why. That's why I
shit.
said when I
I'll
posted
be
it
right
to the
back.
okay when I posted it to the oh come on. Yeah, when I posted it to the BTA group page, I simply said, Quibi, go quickly. But yes, it is confirmed. It is shutting down after just 6 months. Yeah, so I'm gonna go into overtime just a little bit.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. But I guarantee you, Tim, tomorrow night we're gonna make sure we end the show on time so you can get that sleep.
I gotta be at the airport Friday morning at 6 o'clock to make sure I get my bags checked. I get my
Mm-hmm.
boarding passes printed off and all that good stuff meter. And
Yep.
that means I gotta get to bed. I can get my sleep.
Yeah, must get sleep. Here, y'all come back now. Here. All right, now let me get Discord here real quick. But yes, Quibi is shutting down after a mere 6 months. It's like holy crap. All right, so give me just a second here. Where am I? All right, but yes, this was updated this afternoon. Quibi is shutting down. The short form video service had the shortest run of all. So, Quibi, the short form mobile focused streaming service, is shutting down after just over 6 months of operation, making it one of the shortest lived streaming services to date, according to Wall Street Journal. The company since confirmed that it'll be shutting down in a Medium post from Jeffrey Katzenberg and Meg Whitman. We feel that we've exhausted all our options. As a result, we have reluctantly come to the difficult decision to wind down the business, return cash to our shareholders, and say goodbye to our colleagues with grace, the announcement reads. There is any number of factors that can be pointed into in unpacking Quibi's demise. The launch of a mobile-only streaming service at the height of a global pandemic when users were stuck at home, the lack of any real breakout content that was compelling enough to tempt subscribers, or the fact that short-form video content has nearly infinite amount of free competition in the form of YouTube, TikTok, and other platforms. Oops. Quibi itself was chalking up the lack of success because the idea itself wasn't strong enough to justify a standalone streaming service or because of our timing. The company will be notifying current subscribers as to the final date they'll be able to access Quibi. Now, it's not clear what's going to happen to the company's lineup of expensive, star studded original shows and short form films after the shutdown. Earlier reports indicated that Katzenberg had courted Apple, Warner Media, and Facebook to try to acquire the beleaguered streaming company earlier this year. When those efforts failed, Katzenberg reportedly tried to get Facebook and NBC Universal to at least pick up Quibi's content to no success. Quibi will continue to attempt to sell both the content and the underlying technology used in its apps in the coming months, however. Now, Quibi launched on April 6th, just over 6 months ago, with two plans: $4.99 with ads and $7.99 without ads. Now, that's per month. The company sought to distinguish itself by focusing exclusively on mobile devices at launch, complete with an innovative system where each show was filmed and edited in both portrait and landscape formats, allowing it to be viewed in any orientation on a smartphone. There was no free option outside of a lengthy free trial and no TV apps until just yesterday when the company launched apps for the Apple TV, Android TV, and Fire TV. Despite the $1.75 billion Katzenberg and co-founder and CEO Meg Whitman raised, Quibi burst onto the scene with more of a whimper than a bang. While it had plenty of big names attached to its content, and even managed to game its way into two Emmy Award wins, it never seemed to manage to actually garner many paid subscribers. A report from app tracking firm Sensor Tower back in July claimed that Quibi lost over 90% of its subscribers after the initial 3 month trial ran out, with just 72 of its roughly 910,000 users who had signed up at launch sticking around as paid customers. I'm one of them. Quibi has refuted those numbers, claiming that they were incorrect by an order of magnitude, but it has never provided any actual subscriber counts on its own. And The Verge did try to reach out to Quibi for further comment, but so far, nothing. But that's just plain. Quibi was around, now it's gone. Just like that. So. And DC Universe, of course, is now becoming DC Infinite. They're moving all of their TV shows to HBO Max, and they're just going to be doing all comic books. I have already canceled. So. I've canceled out of it because I don't want the comics. I want the shows. But the problem is my HBO Max trial ends January 8th, so that's gonna be a bit of an issue right there for me too. Do I want to keep it for 14.99 a month, or do I want to wait for later? I'm going to tell you the truth. I can wait for later because they're all going to be there. I'm not worried. You know.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we can safely wrap things up for tonight. Now, keep in mind, here's what we're doing tomorrow. We are doing a family-friendly Cards Against Humanity episode, and then Friday, while Tim is on his way to Vermont for the trip to Wilson Castle, we are just going to have a general Friday night. So,
Basically, we're moving Friday Fun Day to Thursday so that I can take part. And then on the day that I'm not going to be here because of my trip, they will just have their general day that we would have had tomorrow.
hmm exactly.
And as a result of my trip to Wilson Castle this weekend, on the 29th, we will have a number of guests joining us on the show who, along with myself, will have been at the castle and conducted an overnight investigation of the
Yeah.
castle. Now, I can tell
Storm the
you
castle.
something that I've already heard, and I admit ahead of time that this is something that I've heard. I have not validated it myself. I might get the opportunity to check it out on Saturday night.
hmm
I spoke with somebody who has investigated the castle previously, and I asked, generally speaking, are the spirits friendly at the castle? Because sometimes you have spirits that are not very friendly.
True. You're
She
right.
said, generally speaking, on the first and second floor, yes. She said on the third floor there is an aggressive entity. I believe it's probably the Indian.
hmm
I could be wrong about that.
True.
It said that there is the spirit of an Indian on the third floor of the castle who is protective of a little boy, who I obviously is also a spirit, I believe.
hmm
And I am not going to take my chances with a potentially aggressive entity.
Yeah.
Not because I'm not interested in finding out what happens, but I am a diabetic.
hmm
And if I, or anybody else for that matter, gets overly aggressive towards these entities, they could touch people, they could scratch people, they could whatever.
hmm
And because I'm diabetic, if my skin breaks, even if it's just a simple scratch, and I start bleeding, that could pose a problem.
hmm
And anybody that's diabetic will understand exactly why I say that. I don't want to elaborate that on air for people for reasons I think you surely wouldn't understand,
hmm
but that would not be a very good idea.
Right.
Now, I'm not the sort that believes in or would otherwise practice aggressiveness towards any spirit because remember that this was their home
hmm
or they fought in the American Revolution way back when. And I'm coming in effectively as a guest. And let's face it, if you were going to go visit someone else's home, the last thing you would want to do is get in their face and start demanding this, that, and the other of them.
Yeah.
So I will probably go to the third floor, but I will not go to that third floor alone.
hmm
And I have absolutely no intention of climbing up to the roof. I saw a Facebook Live that a couple of my friends did from that roof, and I'm like, nope, nope, nope. I
hmm
am definitely afraid of heights for one thing. Second of all, the way the ladder is that leads up to that roof is strictly vertical. It's not at an angle, it's straight up and down.
hmm
I'm not going to even take my chances with that.
I don't blame you. I wouldn't
But I
either.
am looking forward to having an amazing Halloween special of Secrets of the Unknown on Thursday, the 29th. I've already gotten 4 guests booked with a
hmm
few more that are maybes.
Yeah.
And all of these people, both the guests, the scheduled guests, and the maybes, are all people that will be there with me this weekend.
hmm
I'm sure we'll have plenty to talk about
Oh yeah.
gem in the hills of Vermont.
Oh yeah. All right.
And Shirley, I believe you've seen some pictures that have been on my wall of the
Mhm.
interior of this castle.
Yep.
This is a beautiful property. I can't wait to see it with my own two eyes.
Mhm. I like that. Yeah, maybe one day I'll be able to check that out in my lifetime. But anyway, we do need to wrap this up because it is getting late. And so, I'm just gonna say this. We hope you
Yes,
enjoyed the
we
show.
should do that.
We hope you enjoyed the show tonight. And of course, like I said, tomorrow we're doing a family-friendly Cards Against Humanity and general. And then Friday is like a general night. We're just gonna talk. You know what we're gonna talk about. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start by doing the ending first. So here we go.
Oh my.
All right. Well, anyway, I'm just going to say love, peace, and chicken grease. Everybody have a great night. Sleep well, stay safe, and we'll see you tomorrow for Thursday Fun Day. So, everyone have a great night. Good night, everybody.